Hey guys, and welcome to the January pickups video. Playing catch up, oh my. Well, this time around January was a very slow month, so this time I'm quite sure that the video isn't going to be too long. But let's see, I've been wrong about that before. So let's just dive head first into them pickups. Of course I start off with a bag. There we go. So on January 2nd I went to some local thrift stores, only found something at one of them, and this is going to be quite deja vu, if you know what I'm saying. I got a pink bag, and a pink bag. Seem familiar? A couple of months earlier I picked up the exact same thing here, so it's kind of weird. At the same store, kind of weird. So this is going to be me showing you like the exact same as I did then. My guess is that two sisters or something owned these, and maybe they just gave them to the thrift store at different points, or the thrift store only put like one out and then put the other one out at a later time, you know. But in this pink bag there is a white DSi, just as last time, in really good condition, so that's cool. And in this bag here there's a power supply and a car charger for DSi and the charge station, as I mentioned before. That makes absolutely no sense, but I digress. And the DSi and the stuff in the bag, about $5, so that's alright. Then on the 9th it was Germany time. Absolutely no surprise, you know. On the way down there I picked up a single game at a junkyard store, a DS title here, which was Star Trek Tactical Assault. Yeah, and that was a little bit over $2, so decent. Then at a thrift store down in Germany, this is actually a pretty funny story, I saw on a shelf this box right here, a Nintendo 3DS box, the Super Mario 3D Land Pack 1. But I took the box off the shelf and sadly no 3DS inside. They used it for poker chips. There was a bunch of poker chips in there, you know, to sell them, I guess. But I was like, hey, this box, I don't want it to get thrown out by whoever buys those poker chips, you know. So I was like, do we want to sell the box only? And that wasn't a problem, just out with all them poker chips. And then I picked this up for 50 cents. Well, euro cents anyway, which is at the point of this recording about 53 US cents. So it's all good. Now I just need a 3DS to put in here. I still don't have a 3DS, can you believe that? Kinda sucks, you know. Then at a small privately owned thrift store down there in Germany, I got two Pokemon figures. A Charmander and a Mewtwo. I really need to clean the Mewtwo. It's pretty disgusting actually. So this is an old Burger King figure. I can just see that under whatever sticker is put on down here. And this is some random one from 1998. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Pretty sizable figure actually, compared to what I usually find, you know. So that's pretty cool. And they actually ended up being free, so can't complain about free figures, you know. Even if it is Pokemon figures, which I have a ton of. And these two are not going to be the only ones that I picked up on that day, I think, actually, so. Yep. Then on the way home from Germany, I went to a couple of thrift stores and junkyard stores and stuff like that. And at the first junkyard store I went to, I picked up 4 PS2 titles. So let's take a look at them, why don't we? First up, Formula 1 2003. I have quite a few of these now, so gotta complete it. The series in my collection. Yeah, and a weird one here, Knight Rider 2, the game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and a Phoenix Games game, because at this point I just want all of them, you know, with like a 95% chance they're going to be bad. It's awesome, kinda. But this one is Turbo Trucks. Nothing uncommon about this one if I remember correctly, but you know, Phoenix Games, and they were $1.50 each, so that's pretty good, you know. And then after that I went to another junkyard store and Pokemon figures in a bag, of course, because I suck. All these are actually quite recent McDonald's figures, but I didn't buy any Happy Meals, you know, while they had them. You can go to McDonald's and be like, hey, can I buy some figures? And they'll be like, sure. Around here they usually sell them for like $1.50, so whatever. But when it comes to Pokemon figures at this point, they have to be cheaper than that for me to pick them up, you know. Yep. I don't know what the point is. It's like the appendages is all loose. But they're supposed to be like that. But first up, a Finnegan, a Meowth, a Scraggy. It's like Why? I don't know. A Vulpix, and the last one, a Torchic. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say that I chose Torchic as my starter in Pokemon Sapphire back in the day. I know Blaziken gets a lot of hate for being a good Pokemon, I guess. Moving on. And then at the last place of the day, a thrift store. I found something quite weird actually. I found the first PS4 game in my collection. Well, what was to be the first PS4 game in my collection, which it is now. And that is The Elder Scrolls Online. Tamriel Unlimited, apparently. Kinda weird finding a random PS4 title, and it was $1.50, so I'm not gonna pass up on that. If I wanted, I could probably get more for it at GameStop, but as a collector, I don't do that. No, it goes on the shelves where there's no space. So that was pretty cool, adding the first PS4 title to my collection, and for cheap, yes. Then I didn't pick anything up until the 17th. Oh no, I gotta sneeze. Alright, so the first place I went to was a junkyard store that I frequent, and I actually got this Charmander keychain for free. It's like a metallic one from 1998. I don't know, it's seen better days. I have a Pikachu one of these, so I guess they made more in the same line. Maybe just the starters, I don't know. But, you know, it was free. There we go. And after that I went to that junkyard store, as I'd mentioned before and picked up stuff at before. And the first thing I saw there was this. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion official game guide for PC and Xbox 360. Pretty cool. It's a pretty sizable book, you know, and a lot of pictures. I like me some pictures, but even more text. But yeah, that was a little bit over $2, so I had to pick that up. I love me some strategy guides, you know. Just don't come across them that often. But there I also picked up a single PS2 title here, a Phoenix Games game, Downhill Slalom. They made a lot of sports titles now, didn't they? Looks generic as all hell, so had to pick it up because of that little damn logo down there, and that was $1.50. Also at that flea market store I picked up a single PC title here as well, just a jewel case copy here of XCOM Apocalypse. Think it's a re-release, probably, whatever. That was a little bit over 40 cents, so, you know, I like PC games. I do. And the last thing I picked up there was the limited collector's edition of Alan Wake on Xbox 360. This probably came in a much bigger package, I would think, because there's nothing on the back or anything. You can see it was bought pre-owned at GameStop. Yeah, I don't know. But if I should ever come across all the other stuff, I guess it's cool to have this. But the reason I picked it up, it was only like 57 cents or something like that. So that's pretty decent if you ask me. And Alan Wake is a good game. I liked it. I did. And then at another junkyard store, I picked up a few Game Boy titles here. 2 Game Boy Color ones and a single Game Boy Advance one. Some very random titles here for Game Boy Color. Bob the Builder, Fix It Fun. Yeah, I don't know how fun it could be. And the other Game Boy Color game is Lego Racers. And the one single Game Boy Advance title here, Tom and Jerry in Infernal Escape. Yeah, you can see it right here. And it's an American copy for some reason, but it's legit enough. That's one thing you always have to be on the look for with Game Boy Advance titles here in Europe. There are so many pirated cartridges, you know. And of course, sure, there is that in the US too. But it's always a warning sign when there is the ESRB logo on them, because they never use like European cover art or whatever, like cartridge art. So whenever I see the ESRB logo on a Game Boy title of any kind, I get suspicious. But this one's good enough. It's cool. Yeah, and those 3 games were a little bit under $3 combined, so yeah, the games have been there for a while, and I was like, well, if nobody else wanna buy them, I'm just gonna bring them home before they just get thrown out or whatever, you know. And then the last pickup of that day, also at a junkyard store on the PS2, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. I picked this up before, but this one is in better condition, so had to upgrade. And it was bought in the UK, which is funny too, how stuff finds their way to other countries, you know. I find that fascinating. Then on the 19th, I went to a local thrift store. It usually doesn't have anything. None of them do around here. But every once in a while, there'll be like a little stack of stuff. And this time, there were 2. Well, I bought 3 PS2 titles and 3 Wii titles. The PS2 titles, I'm quite sure that I already had, so I don't know why I bought them. Really. Sometimes I just buy without thinking, you know. But the 3 PS2 titles were a platinum copy of God of War, The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, And the last PS2 title, Need for Speed Underground 2. And then the 3 Wii titles here, the most boring one, Wii Fit, yay. And another very uninteresting one here, FIFA 09 All Play, I don't know. And the last Wii game here, and probably the best one, The Simpsons game. And in 2 of the PS2 titles there were actually some memory cards in here. There was a PS1 memory card for some reason, and one of those third-party 64 megabyte memory cards for PS2. But yeah, the games were about 75 cents each, and because the memory cards were in the cases, they were free, I guess. So yeah, decent pickup for 75 cents each, I believe. But later that day, a package arrived, and it was a package with some stuff that I won in a Facebook auction in like a retro video game buy and sell group. And I was very surprised that this one didn't end up being more expensive. I just put in my bid knowing full well that I was not gonna win it, but I did, so it's kind of weird. As you can see, some PS1 stuff here. First up, an empty case for Crash Bandicoot 2. Yeah, it was like a random mess of stuff. Like the front inlay for the Platinum version of Crash Bandicoot 2. Yeah, weird mix. And I don't know, this was probably an ad that was in the Crash Bandicoot case, maybe, for Spyro. And then a bunch of demo discs, like Demo 1 and Forsaken, and the UK PlayStation Magazine, volume 17 or whatever, disc 17, which is Euro Demo 34. And a lot of Euro demos here, 41, 52, 53, 55, 56, 58, 62, 69, and the only one with a sleeve here, already have this one though, 71. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what demos are on each of these because that would take a shit ton of time. Then a promotional copy of Ace Combat 2, loose disc here, some more disc only stuff here, Aqua GT. Actually, this one has the back inlay, just randomly screwed about here. Yeah, I don't know, a very beat up disc only copy of Hugo 2. Probably not gonna play with all the scratches on this side. Those are the bad ones, you know? And I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just gonna wing it. But a disc only copy of Miglia, maybe? And somebody butchered a front cover here for Motor Racer. The disc is in there and the front inlay, but cut to fit in this. Stuff like that saddens me, and I drop it. Blech. Next up, a disc only copy of Nuclear Strike, a mobile strike. Download now free from the App Store. That's not the same thing. No. A disc-only copy of Rage Racer. A disc-only copy of the Platinum version of Soviet Strike. Once again, a disc-only copy of Street Fighter 2 Collection. That sucks. I want this in box, but I cannot has it. And then this. Quite blank, huh? Yeah, it doesn't have a front cover, but it's Rage Racer again with the Namco demo in there and the game. No manual though. Back inlay is there. Kind of weird. All right. Next up, Tomb Raider 3 without a manual, sadly, but I already have it, so it's all right. This is the best game in here, so I'm just gonna put that to the side. Without front cover or manual, Impact Racing, Grand Theft Auto, the London expansion pack, Mission Pack 1, London 1969. Yeah, and without front cover or manual, platinum copy of Grand Theft Auto, platinum copy of G-Police without a manual, Formula 1 98, another one from that series, FIFA Football 2003 and 2004. Great. Next up, Chris Camera's Street Soccer, I guess that's his name, more football. And now to the 2 games in this lot that made me want to bid, which also made this worth it, you know, because as you could see, nothing too special in the stack that I already showed you. First up, 3D Lemmings. Love me some Lemmings. I've never played this one, so I don't know. I'm gonna try it out for sure at some point, you know? And apparently I can win one of 3 luxury trips to San Francisco, USA. Free! Jelly Belly Beans for the first 10,000 entrants. Yeah, right there. Do you think if I entered that contest that I'd be one of the first 10,000 people? Probably not at this point, huh? We'll go for some jelly beans though, huh? Yes. And lastly, the most valuable game in here, actually quite uncommon, maybe a little bit rare, which is why I was so surprised that I actually got it for the price that I wanted to pay, you know, this entire stack here. And it is Kingsley's Adventure. yeah, this is quite uncommon, so pretty cool to actually find that. The case has a little ding here. Other than that, very good condition actually. So yeah, all of those PS1 titles here, along with the demos and whatnot. A little bit under $36, which I would say is a pretty damn good deal considering that Kingsley's Adventure normally goes for more. So yeah, and there's some other stuff I can use here too in my collection, so you know, it's all good. And I love some demo discs, so nostalgic looking back at those, you know. And now it's already time for the last pickup of January. I told you, not a lot of stuff in January, you know. It was on January 31st, the very last day of the month, you know. I went to a local thrift store that I go to every once in a while, and they know that I'm searching for games, so they had something out back that I could look at. Well, you know, old people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, so it was like VHS tapes and DVDs, but there were some PS2 titles here and there in between all of that shit. So I picked up 4 PS2 titles here for 75 cents each. First up, Disney's Dinosaur, Spider-Man, Web of Shadows, Amazing Allies Edition. I can see Wolverine on his hand for some reason. And this is a long title, so I'm just gonna show you the cover. You can see SpongeBob right there. It's SpongeBob SquarePants featuring Nicktoons Globs of Doom. Kind of a long title. Looks weird, so I picked it up. And the most valuable game in here, but nothing too special though. The Legend of Spyro and New Beginning. So I'll say pretty decent deal for 75 cents each. And at that point I just wanted to pick something up before the month was over because, well, kind of a boring month. If it wasn't for those PS1 titles there, yeah, I don't know. It would have been kind of dull. Yeah, so that's it for the January pickups. Not a lot of stuff, but still some pretty decent stuff, you know. Like Kingsley's Adventure and 3D Lemmings. The Oblivion strategy guide was pretty cool. Saving the Nintendo 3DS box here from probably getting thrown out by whoever was going to buy some poker chips. So yeah, pretty decent stuff overall. All them Pokemon figures. Yeah. Where to put them all? Morty. I'm kind of tired, but it's okay. It's okay. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching while I try to catch up on these pickups videos. So please. I are speaking very good English. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe. That's what I was trying to say. And if you saw anything in this video that might make an interesting review type video or whatever in the future, please tell me in the comments down below. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. I don't think I have anything that I want to throw in your face to say bye bye. I'm gonna put the it's almost full. Yeah, I got it. Alright, let's try again. Success!